And we're just going to be doing, so we'll do our breath work and then a little bit of meditation and journaling. And then we'll do some sun salutations to warm up. And then we're going to be doing kind of like a little, it's going to be like a mini inversion masterclass. So we're going to be doing a few exercises for the different inversions, things that you can work on if you're working up towards different inversions. So yeah, so find your seat. And then just start to settle into the seat. Take any last fidgets, close down the eyes. Take a big shoulder roll going up, back, and down to draw the shoulder blades down the back body. And let's just start with 3 big rounds of releasing breath. Take a long inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Another one like that. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. One more time, inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Just taking a moment here in stillness to check in with how you're feeling this morning. Anything that's alive for you in the mind, in the body, in the heart space. Without judgment, just checking in. And our breathwork exercise for today is going to be humming bee breath, or simply bee breath, Brahmari breath. So a really nice one for calming and also great for kind of focusing the mind, which also ties in really nice with our intention for today's practice, inversions, and looking forward. So that focus and concentration for looking ahead. So you can keep the eyes closed down. There's nothing really that you need to look at. So you can keep the hands down in the lap, or once we get started, what some people like to do is cover their ears. So once we get started, you can come to place the hands on both ears, and that way you can really kind of tune into those vibrations. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale through the nose. So I'll just do 1 to demo, and then we're going to do 10 rounds together. So we're going to inhale through the nose. And then as we exhale, we're going to still exhale through the nose, but making a humming sound as we exhale. So inhale through the nose. So really trying to lengthen through that exhale. And again, you can just keep the hands in the lap, or if you want to kind of sense more of the vibrations, you can bring your hands to your ears, cover your ears, and we'll just do 10 rounds all together. So taking your position either with the hands, or once you cover your ears, you won't be able to hear me. And we'll get started. So 10 rounds in your own breath. Long inhale through the nose. When you've done your 10 or you're ready to finish, just allow the hands to settle back down in the lap. Again, just checking back in, notice any shifts. And floating your hands up to your heart space, one on top of the other. Feeling your sit bones grounding down into the earth, growing long through the spine, lifting up through the crown of the head. And just starting to bring to mind how you want to feel for 2021. So rather than focusing on specific concrete goals, just calling to mind that feeling as the starting point for everything else you want to do in the year. How do you want to feel next year? And for that feeling, bringing to mind sometime in the past where you felt that feeling and really starting to visualize it. So what were you wearing? What were you doing? What was around you? So tuning into all the 5 senses: taste, feel, smell, see, touch. So it becomes really concrete. And see if you can really start to tune into that feeling and allow it to grow in your body so you're fully embodying this feeling. Slowly blinking open the eyes and just taking a moment to journal about that feeling intention for 2021, or simply just taking a moment to meditate on it a little bit further. So I find that bringing pen to paper really helps to kind of bring it into the reality, seeing it on paper. So how is it that you want to feel in 2021? And how does that feel in your body, in your 5 senses? So we'll just take a moment here. And taking a bit more time if you'd like, or otherwise, if you're ready, just coming back to your mat. So as you saw, as I mentioned, our intention or kind of theme for today is inversions. And these can bring up a lot of fear, obviously, because we're going upside down. So, but really an inversion is just any pose where the hips are above the heart. So in downward dog, you're already in an inversion. I really love teaching these because they're something that I personally really struggle with, and I'm still working towards pincha and handstand. So I won't even be going into those today. I'll just be doing some exercises to build up for them. And I think they're really great for this idea of looking ahead with intention and purpose, because they require so much focus and they require us to move past those blocks and fears in our minds. So they were a really great tie-in to kind of achieving, working towards goals and dreams and other aspects in our lives. So we're just going to start with a few wrist exercises and shoulder activation, because those are the parts that we really use in these poses. So just starting off from your seat for now, bring your hands together, interlace the fingers, and we're just going to circle out through the wrists. So making kind of like a figure 8 with your wrists and taking it in the other direction. We're just warming up through the wrist. This is really more for handstand. Also really good actually for downward facing dog, and for we're not used to placing a lot of pressure on the wrist. So this is really great to warm them up. And then you can slow down the circles, let it go. And then we're just gonna stretch out through the wrist. So extend your left arm out in front of you. Flexing out through the palm, grab hold of the fingers with your other hand and just pull them back slightly. You can move that down into the palm. So just stretching through the bottom part of the wrist. Nice. And then flip it around and we'll take it in the other direction. And again, we just want to go for a stretch, not anything uncomfort. So if you feel any kind of pinching or pain, just ease off a little bit. And let's do the other side. Flex forwards. And then flip it around. Good, nice. And then just give them a little shake. And then making your way to a tabletop. So what we'll do, because of the mic situation, is I'll just kind of like cue, and then I'll do a demo where hopefully you can hear me a little bit, and then I'll come back and cue some more. So we'll just go back and forth with the computer mic here. So find a tabletop position so you know where you're going. Grounding down into the hands, so spread the fingertips wide, neutral spine, hands are shoulder width apart. And you're just gonna draw circles around the wrists and knees. So again, we're just warming up through the wrists again. So taking your whole body around in a circle. So again, we're still activating through the wrists, taking it in the other direction. And then coming to find stillness again. And so we're gonna work through some shoulder activation. So as if we're doing a push-up, but just with our shoulders. So from here, you're gonna lower the center of your chest down towards the mat. So you create a kind of gap in between your shoulder blades here. As you inhale, you're gonna press into the ground, round through the spine. So kind of like we're going into a cat-cow, but we're just focusing on the shoulders here. So as you exhale, lower, create that gap in the shoulders. As you inhale, press the ground away, round through the spine. So you can really see that activation movement through the shoulder girdle here. So really start to feel into those muscles. So we're gonna be using this for all of the inversion exercises actually. So these are all the muscles that we wanna be working through and engaging. So really starting to feel a little bit of heat here, as if you're really working the muscles there. Really nice. On your next inhale, just come back to a neutral spine, tuck under the feet, press yourself up, downward facing dog. Good, pedaling out through the feet, just warming up through the legs. So we're gonna do a couple sun salutations just to warm up the body, and then we'll move into a couple inversion exercises. So in your downward facing dog, ground down into the heels, press into the hands, lift the tailbone up towards the sky. Maybe starting to engage that Ujjayi victorious breath. Inhale, exhale through the nose with a slight constriction of the throat. On your next inhale, rise up onto the balls of the feet. Walk your feet all the way up to the hands. Forward fold at the top of the mat. Bend into the knees. Allow the head and arms to hang. Maybe grab hold of opposite elbows. Find a sway side to side, ragdoll. Maybe taking a shake out of the head, nodding yes, shaking no. Bending the knees as much as you need. Exhale, slowly release the hands, ground down into the feet. Inhale, roll yourself all the way up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. Head and shoulders come up last. Roll the shoulders up, back and down as you come up. Hands down by your sides, Tadasana. Feet are hip width apart or big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Good, really nice. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Bow forwards, plant the hands. Inhale, take a halfway lift, find space. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back through high plank. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, lower chest and chin, roll all the way down to the mat. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, baby cobra. Exhale, lower, press back, downward facing dog. Good. 5 breaths here. Inhale, sweep the right heel up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Ground down into the left heel. Exhale, warrior 1. Sweep the right leg forwards, land the foot between the hands. Lower the left heel, sweep the arms up, rise up. Good, warrior one. Drawing that right knee over to the right side of the mat. Tuck the tailbone, knit the ribs in. Squeeze the belly, good. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears. Strong legs. Exhale, release, bow forwards, plant the hands. Step the right foot back through high plank, your choice, modified or full vinyasa, tilt forwards. Bend the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Second side, inhale, sweep the left heel up to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, warrior one, sweep it forwards, land the foot between the hands, lower the right heel, rise up, warrior one, left side. Good, strong legs. Really press into that outer edge of the back foot so you straighten through the back leg. Good. Exhale, plant the hands, bow forward, step the left foot back through high plank. Your choice, full or modified vinyasa. Taking it all the way back to downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Inhale, rise up onto the balls of the feet, roll the knees forwards, land down on the knees, come back to your seat, sitting upright, kneeling position. So we're gonna start with a headstand exercise or workshop, working towards headstand. So really, for all of these inversions, I really want to note that we're not trying to fling ourselves into these positions. So we're going, every step we're going with control. So we don't want to be like flinging our legs into the air and losing our balance. So obviously we're not in the same space together. So being really careful, just take it as far as you feel comfortable and we'll all stay safe. So we're going to be, I'll show you the hands first. We're going to be creating a little basket with our hands. So we're going to interlace the fingers when we come down onto the mat. And what you're going to do is tuck the bottom pinky underneath the other one. So if you have any jewelry, I recommend taking that off so it doesn't kind of squish your hands. And you're going to create this little basket and platform. So your hands are going to be on the ground like this with the pinkies, and your head is going to come in your hand. So it can be, some people like to do it like this. It doesn't have to be quite in the head, or you can bring it kind of onto the crown of the head, and this part of your head is on the mat. All right, so that's the hands. So from your seated position, you can already take the hands together if you'd like. So you're going to bring your elbows down onto the mat out in front of you. And actually, you're going to release the hands, grab hold of the elbows so you can check the distance. So you want your elbows to be shoulder width apart. So by bringing the hands to the elbows, you can check the distance. So check your distance, bring the elbows down, then you release the hands, create your little basket. So I'm just going to demo from here. Hopefully you can hear, but I'll go through the steps. So you've measured your elbows, you release the hands, you created your little basket for your head. Lift up through the hips, press your head down. And then you can stay here actually and do those shoulder exercises. So pressing up and down through the shoulders. If you want to take it to the next step, you can press your hips up. So you're kind of in a downward facing dog, but on your head. And again, you can do those shoulder exercises here. And you want to have not very much weight in your head. So you're really pressing into the forearms here. If you want to take it further, you can start to walk your hands towards your head, coming up high onto the tiptoes. Maybe you start to bend in one leg at a time. So I'm just going to come closer and have a look. Yeah, good. And if you want to come near a wall, you can. You don't want to come too close because as you come up, you want your hips to kind of come a little past your head. So it almost feels like you're going too far. I'm going to have a look. Nice, Charlotte. Yeah. Really press into the shoulders. Walk your feet further in. Yeah, keep going, keep going. So it's going to feel like you're going too far. Keep going, keep going. So again, we're doing all of this with control. So we're not flinging the legs up. It should almost feel like your hips are pulling yourself. Let me do one more on the mat so you can see. So as I walk my feet up, you'll see my hips almost go past my head. And then it feels like they're just pulling. It's almost like your hips are pulling your legs off the mat. But obviously only go to where you feel comfortable. It took me a long time to work towards this, so there's no rush. You're even already doing this with the hips up, you're in an inversion, you're upside down. So I'll just give you one more moment for this one. This is so fun to watch, by the way. And whenever you have enough of this one, just take a little moment in child's pose. So just allow the blood to come back down, come back to your breath. Nice, Nicole. So I think you might be a little too close to the wall because you need space for your hips. This is very hard through a screen. So just come down to a child's pose for a moment. So really important when we're doing these inverted postures to come back down, kind of a reset. Oh, hello. Awesome. All right, come back to your seated position. So these are all things you can work through, you know, in your own time at home. So pincha and handstand, both poses that I am not able to do at all. So we're just going to be working through kind of exercises going in that direction. So with pincha, pincha mayurasana, forearm stand. So I'm sure you've seen like lots of pictures of yogis on their forearms, you know, floating in the air, but actually requires a lot of shoulder strength. So this is, I think this is the hardest inversion posture. So we're just working towards there. There's no rush. So same thing as headstand, we're going to measure the forearms and then we're going to extend them, except this time the arms are out parallel to one another. And what can help with this is you can bring a block in between your hands to kind of have something to grab onto and kind of keep your elbows in and your forearms in. So we're going to move to that position from your seated. So almost the same as headstand, measuring the elbows, dropping them down, placing the hands, forearms parallel, kind of like we're in Sphinx. And you want to really press down into the forearms, spread wide through the fingertips. And then same thing from here. We're just going to lift up through the hips, tuck the feet, rise up through the legs, straighten the legs. And again, you can just stay here. So maybe you want to do those shoulder push-ups. You can go forwards and backwards to activate through the shoulders, find some strength in the shoulders. So just starting with that, because this is already quite intense for the shoulders here. From here, if you want to take it further, same thing, you can start to walk the feet in. So you're starting to bring yourself above the arms, and you kind of want to look down slightly, maybe in between your hands. And then from here, you can take one leg up and start to do little bunny hops. Pressing out really strongly through the forearms. So make sure you keep your elbows tucked in really tightly. We don't want them to go out to the sides because that makes it a lot harder. So again, you're gonna feel this a lot in the shoulders. And you can switch the legs. So take one leg up, do a bunny hop, take the other leg up, do that bunny hop. And just notice also what's coming up. Inversions, I feel like, bring up so much mentally, like frustration, all these things. So it's really interesting to see what comes up with inversions. Taking a break whenever you need to as well. And if you want to take it to the next step, let's say, we're going to do this with handstand as well. But this is a really great way to kind of build up strength, both for handstand and for pincha. You can bring yourself to a wall. So what you're going to do I'll move there in a sec, but you're gonna sit your butt against the wall. And then you're gonna notice where your knees are. And that's where you're gonna come place your elbows. So just mark that point. I think this is right. Yeah. So then you're going to place your elbows down. You're going to turn around, place your elbows down, and you're going to walk your feet up against the wall. So we're doing the same thing we're doing on the mat, but your feet are coming up against the wall. Let me see if I can show you over here. So I'm starting this way. Measure my knee. Then I come, turn around. Wait, this is the wrong way. So you're still facing this way. And then you start to put your feet on the wall. So you're facing away from the wall. Yeah. So come down onto the forearms. I mean, you can do it for the handstand. We're going to do that next. But you're coming down onto the forearms. Elbows are where your knees were. So you keep the forearms down and then just walk your feet up against the wall. So you kind of start to get that feeling of going towards being upside down. And again, in this position, you can do those shoulder push-ups. So pressing into the forearm, activating through the shoulders. Ooh, nice, Mercy. Going all the way upside down. Nice, guys. Nice, Charlotte. All right, let's take a little break. Come back down to a child's pose. Allow the breath, the heart rate to come back down before we go for an exercise for the big bad boy of inversions, handstand. All right, so coming back up to an upright position. So for handstand exercise, we're just going to do the same thing we did for pincha, except we're going to put the hands completely out. So we're going to do that sit against the wall again. And this time you're going to place your hands, I'm trying to remember where I think it's where your feet are. I'm trying to remember. So you're going to notice where no, that seems a bit far. Let's start with the knees. So again, you're going to place them. No, the feet are right. You're going to place your hands where your feet are. And then again, facing away from the wall, you're going to press yourself up and walk yourself onto the wall. So let me move away now. Do it over here. So I measure, I see. So I place my hands where my feet are, then step your feet onto the wall. So you only want to bring your feet up to hip width. So you're kind of creating an L with your body like this. So your feet are on the wall, your hands are on the ground, and it's going to feel like you're coming too far. That's normal. As you come up and start to straighten your legs and you come to a 90-degree angle in the hips, it's going to feel weird and that's normal. Yeah, so bring your legs back down to perfect. Yes, good. So this is just feeling how it feels to be upside down, getting our brains used to that feeling. So Nicole, see if you can straighten your legs. Yeah, good. Nice. So this is a really, really great one to strengthen the wrists. Charlotte, bring your feet down a little bit. Come down so they're at the hip level. And then straighten the legs. It's gonna feel weird. And when you've had enough, just come back down to a child's pose. Really nice, guys. Come back to the breath. Really amazing, guys. This is really not easy to do on your own through the screen. So well done. Inhale, slowly roll yourself back up to seated, and then extend both legs out in front of you. Bent up or straight out, sitting up on a block or not, it's your choice. Lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, roll forwards. Take your arms to the shins, to the ground, or to the feet. Drop the head down, allow it to hang heavy. Just find a big stretch here, forward fold. Coming back down to earth. Steadying through the breath. Nice. On your next inhale, roll yourself all the way back to an upright position. Take your arms out in front of you, roll the shoulders, roll the spine, roll yourself all the way down onto your mat, finding the ground. Drawing both knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around them, take a little rock side to side. And then taking your hips over to the right side, cross your right leg over the left, take the arms wide, T-shape or cactus, roll the legs over to the left, head rolls over to the right. Big stretch through the right side body. Closing down the eyes. Keeping both shoulders on the mat. Letting go of any control of the breath. On your next inhale, slowly roll the legs back to center, unravel the legs, take the hips back to center, cross the left leg over the right, take the hips over to the left, roll the legs over to the right side, head rolls to the left. Close down the eyes if they came open. Settling back down. Finding any small little areas where you can further release in the muscles of the face and the hands and the feet. On your next inhale, slowly roll the legs back to center, extending them out long, setting up for Shavasana, our final resting pose. So grabbing anything you need to be comfy, cushion, blanket, sweater, socks. Taking a moment to grab anything you need and settling down on the mat, maybe covering your eyes. As you settle back down into the mat, take the feet wide, drop the toes out to the sides, palms are open to the ceiling. Back of the neck is long with the chin slightly tucked. Eyes are closed down. And we'll be here for the last few minutes of your practice, our practice, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Slowly starting to deepen the inhales and exhales. Breathing all the way into the tips of the fingers and toes. Starting to bring a little bit of movement back into the body, circling the wrists and ankles. Sweep your arms up overhead, point the feet, take a big long stretch. And release, draw the knees into the chest, squeeze them in. Slowly rolling yourself over onto whichever side is calling to you this morning, taking a little moment to thank yourself for making it onto the mat this morning, for challenging yourself to go upside down. And when you're ready, slowly make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Cross-legged or kneeling, whatever's comfortable, allowing the hands as you arrive to settle in the lap, on the knees, or one hand on top of the other at the heart space. And we'll close our practice today with one releasing round of breath. Take a long inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale, release. Blinking open the eyes, come back into your space. Thank you for practicing with me this morning.